no inhibitions about getting into it. No considerations of the, oh, well, is this really going to work out? Is this actually the right philosophy? Or, you know, maybe it's something else or some other guru or some other whatever. You know, they don't have all of these conditional thoughts. They just go and do it with a full enthusiasm and a pure heart. So if we all would do like that, come unto me like little children, Jesus said. So if we can be like little children, if we can just forget, you know, who we think we are and all that stuff, and just try to approach God. Make this the goal of our life. Make this devotional service to God, this pure love of Godhead, the aim and the objective of our existence. Then so many horrible problems and difficulties will be removed. We will be free from sinful activities which are the cause of suffering. You try to understand. If you're suffering, nobody's doing that to you. You did that to yourself. You see? What goes around comes around. It's called the law of karma. And very few people actually understand the standard of what being a good person really is. The standard of being a good person, the standard of following God's laws perfectly, is very, very, very high, at least compared to the culture that we're in now. The culture that we're in now actually promotes sinful activities, promotes violence to animals and to other people, you know. I mean, it's terrible if, you know, if there's a murder or something like that in one of our big cities. It makes the front page of the news, right? But, you know, every day there's people getting murdered off by soldiers off in different foreign countries just to protect our oil and other stuff like that we think we need. You know, do you think that's right? You know? That's going to cause karma. And that karma is going to build up. And one day, all the people who participate in that society are going to have to pay that karma. So I think we've come to one of those times when there's a lot of karma, a lot of karmic debts due. So much killing animals, so much, you know, getting involved in war just over oil, you know, and stuff like that. So as soon as we realize that, oh, I'm participating in this society that creates so much bad karma, you know, as soon as we realize that and we detach ourselves from identifying with that society, you know, then we start on our path to overcoming those karmic reactions. See? Every time we eat meat, every time we take intoxication, every time we have illicit sex life, every time we gamble or speculate, we create reactions for ourselves in the future. And these reactions are what keep us bound to this materialistic life. These are what cause disease and depression and suffering of all kinds. Ignorance, bad luck. There's actually no such thing as bad luck. Bad luck simply means that you have some karma from your activities in the previous life, and they're coming due in this life. Because nobody understands this knowledge. Nobody understands this science. This knowledge has been deliberately suppressed in the West. So no one understands that before we had this body, we had another body which was very similar. And we did so many nonsense things, and therefore in this life we have some karmic reactions. It's very simple. Similarly, the things that we do in this life will generate karmic reactions in the next life. That's the meaning, or one of the implications of being eternal. That I'm in this body now because I have these activities in the previous life that gave me the qualifications to be in a certain situation, a certain country, a certain family, a certain economic stratum, and so forth, occupation, and so on and so on. All these things are determined by karma. And similarly, the things that I'm doing now are creating the karma for my next body. So when this body is worn out, then the higher authorities, it doesn't have anything to do with my choice. My preferences may be one thing, but the higher authorities will inspect my record, my karmic record, which is all there in the brain. All those things are recorded in the mind, all those impressions. And you hear people say that at the time of death, their whole life flashes before their mind's eye in a few seconds. Well, this is kind of like the recording being played back at very high speed, you see? And when the higher authorities see this, they can assess the state of a person's karma, and then they can assign them a new body, and then they have to go get born in that body and live that life according to their karma. So if you're suffering, you have no one to blame except yourself. It means that you violated God's law, you created karma, and because of that karma, now you're suffering. So we're saying there is a way that you can not only neutralize all the karma from your previous life, but you can work in such a way in this life that does not create any further karma. And this is called devotional service, or work in Krishna consciousness. Karma yoga. And karma yoga is a lot more than just doing nice things or being a good person. Karma yoga means we offer the results of our work to God. See? Most people, when they work, they're thinking, oh, I'm going to work, and then I'm going to get the money, and then I'm going to enjoy the money any way I want. Well, that's exactly how we generate karma. As soon as we don't recognize God as being the proprietor of everything in this world, and we want to take the responsibility for the work that we do, well, then we have to accept the karma. If we want to take the credit, then we have to take the karma. But if we take the same work, the same results, and we offer those results in sacrifice to the Supreme Lord, then we're excused from all the karma. See, so we can take, for example, money. And we can spend the money on this beautiful altar, beautiful festival, feeding the devotees, propagating devotional service all over the world, in our case by video, by internet, like that. Or in your local area, by distributing books, by having festivals. You know, there's a million ways to engage in the service of the Lord. It just depends on really what you want to do. For example, we like music, so we like to do the kīrtan, chanting the names of God. But there's all different kinds of service, and actually the guru, one of his functions is to help the devotees find the kind of service that is satisfying for them, both materially and spiritually. So we urge everyone to take up this goal as their aim in life, to get free from the material existence, to get free from material karma, to get free from material suffering, to realize one's spiritual identity as pure consciousness or eternal spirit, and to revive our original relationship with God in the mode of service which is most pleasing to our hearts. This is Krishna consciousness. So if you make this goal, if you make this objective, if you make this aim, your aim in life, and then you begin to perform systematic activities toward attaining this goal, according to the instructions in the esoteric teaching of the Vedas, you will certainly be able to attain it. Many, many thousands of people, millions of people in the past attained this goal. There's unlimited room for everybody in the spiritual world. So don't worry, it's not like you won't fit. Heaven, not heaven, but the spiritual world never gets full. It can expand unlimitedly. So everybody can go there. You know, sometimes people used to ask, well, if everybody became Krishna conscious, then wouldn't this whole world just be empty? And we would go like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's all go there. Let's just leave this place empty. Then Krishna doesn't have to go to all the trouble of creating. But actually, there are many, many living entities in the lower forms of life. And even if all the human beings became self-realized and left this planet, left this world and went to the spiritual world, then in the next lives the animals would come back in human form, and then they would start the whole thing all over again. So don't worry. Huh? This world is going to go on somehow or other. What do we care really, huh? Just like if you're in, let's say you're in a very poor neighborhood, and then somehow you get money, and you move out to a very nice place, like this. Then do you ever go back and look at your old neighborhood? You know, go see people there? No, probably not. Huh? So similarly, if we can get out of this material world and go to a really much, much nicer place, the spiritual world, we would never want to come back here and see this old material world. We won't care about it anymore.